Okay, so I'm going to be loading up lots of percussion for an action sound design percussion brief. So we're going sort of dark action TV spots, swaggery, sort of fast, furious type things. So let's start loading these things up. Now I've got a load of Ferrum settings pre-saved, and this is why this is a good idea to have this stuff ready for when you need to do this type of stuff. Various metals. I have to say, if you don't have Ferrum, the free one is amazing. So there we go. So I also like to load up 8Dio's clocks, which is amazing. Music HD, sample libraries, 8Dio clocks. I use this all the time, and in fact, we're probably going to need a few instances of this because this is going to be, I'm thinking, really heavy on the ticking, really heavy on the massive hits, really heavy on percussion and rhythm, essentially. So what have we got here? Okay, so I need to go in there to load up new ones. Real clocks one. So I could potentially load up, for 16 different instances of clocks. So I'm going to load up, say, 4. I don't think I'm going to need too many of those. Hopefully. Let's just check these. Yep, that's nice. I mean, the funny thing is, before buying this, I live where I live. There's a clock shop, and I'd walk past it every day. Well, not every day, every so often, and think to myself, you know what? I could go in here and ask the owner if I could record the clocks. I'm glad I didn't, because I saved myself a ton of time just buying this. Nice. Okay, so the other option here is that I wouldn't necessarily need to load up different options. Oh, I like that one. That's the weird one. I'm going to put weird down there. Clock's weird. Okay, I wouldn't need to load up a ton of options because I could heavily process these things. And I'm going to leave it at this for now. I'm going to add in some audio channels, so perhaps 8, my lucky number. And I'm going to use these as drag and drops for hits and things, which I can use to sketch out. I'm going to do something a little different in this video. I'm going to be showing you how to create sort of a 4-bar thing that is aimed at this style, this action swagger ticking thing, and show you about the rhythms, because the danger with always showing you a full track or always writing a full track is that sometimes we forget about how much the details matter. And although, you could say, well, how are you going to focus on the details when you've got 4 bars? There's a lot you can do in 4 bars. And then the iterations of those 4 bars are simply working with variations. So let's get started. That's the kind of tempo I would like. Let's see the tempo. 150 maybe? Let's try it. It's probably a bit faster than that, actually. Let's go 170. Oh, I was probably right with 150. Should have trusted my gut. Bang on straight away. Okay, so with this, the way I work with this is work in sort of terms of scale and size. So I generally start with the little ones first. So let's start with the clocks. That's the one I want. Cool. Quantize this quite considerably. Right, now, this is a great example of how you can focus on the details. You take that simple thing and just change. In fact, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the last bar to be like don't, and then add a little click there. So we've got, you know, okay, there we go. Just keeping it simple. Oh, I like that. Okay, so this is going to be like the slower clock, the bigger clock, the grandfather clock. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm not sure I need this actually. I think it works quite well like this. Oh, watch out. Boom. Yeah. There we go. We'll try that one instead. I'm going to put it here. Last bar. Cool, little syncopation at the end. Again, we're just thinking in terms of layers and... Oh, what I'm going to do is, actually, I'm going to go for the weird, and I'm going to give this one some... I think that's the one. Is it? No, that's the one. Let's chuck this through a little plate, basically a huge plate reverb. Actually, you know, I have to say, when I was starting out, there weren't many YouTube videos around back then of people sort of showing their process, but when they did, they'd always sort of load up expensive plugins I didn't have or couldn't afford at the time, or that weren't in my budget, and I'd always feel like, oh, I guess that's why their tracks sound so good. No, it's a bit too... That's what we want. In fact, actually, I might just put that one on the 4th beat. So there we go. That's just using Logic Reverb. It's basically plate reverb. This is a huge tip, by the way, guys. It took me a long time to understand the difference between a lot of the reverbs. Plate reverbs are brilliant for uncolored reverb. They imply a sense of space without implying what that sense of space looks like. They're uncolored, so really good for this type of stuff. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these around a little bit. I'm going to pan them. So we're going to have imaging, direction, mixer. I'm going to send these clocks over here onto the left and move them a little bit closer. Awesome. And I'm going to put this one here. There we go. So we've got this. And we're going to make this a little bit faster, actually. Give us a little bit of a... There we go. Cool. Give it a little bit of a sexy twist at the end. Wicked. Okay, so it's kind of doing the job. We can keep going, actually, and I probably will keep going, just because I really love doing this type of writing where you just work with a really basic rhythm and you don't get yourself all frustrated and stuff about harmony and melody and all this stuff. You know, this is why I do love these sort of action rhythm-based writing, because you just go, okay, I'm just going to focus on one note, and then the rest of it's all rhythmic editing, which suits me fine. Okay, so where am I? Nope, I don't want that. I can't actually see because of my thingy majigger. There we go, Epic Drums. And we want... I still use Damage 1, and I haven't... I'm sorry, I haven't downloaded Damage 2 yet. Ah! Let's go for Armageddon. It's got some great... Oh. There we go. Got some great sticks. So does Cerberus, actually. In fact, I'm going to load Cerberus up now too. Cerberus, where are you? There you are. I'm going to keep you tight. we're going to start with Cerberus then. Cerberus, bouncing here and there and everywhere. 80s reference. Cool beans. That's that one. And now let's throw in some Armageddon. I might actually take the room out of this one. Purge. That's it. Almost there. What's going on, Cerberus? But I'm gonna. Okay, so the danger here, when you start to get a bit too snazzy with the kind of syncopation, is you lose that sense of a ticking clock. So I'm going to put this one on the beat. Okay, that's sounding better. That little cheeky so-and-so on the 16th instead. In fact, let's put it there. Awesome. Now this is crying out for bigger things to happen. I'm just going to layer a little bit more. There we go. It just needed that little bit extra, like, yes, it's a clock because it's on time. It's not a sort of silly dancing clock. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to think about sending these away. So what I mean by that is sort of moving them in the space a little bit more. Let's put the cycle on so we can hear that, and let's go into the stage. Everything's here. Cool. So it just moves it a little bit further back. And now we're going to do kind of feels like 30 of the exact same thing. I'll use that as the big down. There we go. Supermassive snare drum things. And what have we got here? Oh, I think I like that better. Okay, although that sounds cool, it's really muddy. We don't need all that mud. So we're just going to, I'm going to change the way I'm going to use these chappies. So they are going to be sort of thinned out, moved about, rhythmic interests, if you will. And I'm going to put those here. And I'm going to say, okay, little chappies. And then we're going to go to like that. So let's have it on a cycle. Cool. It's getting there. We could do the same thing, except this time it will be a tour. So da-da, rather digga-digga. And then same thing, make sure it does the business. Okay, now let's have that there. I mean, I like it. I might layer it. Yeah, I'm just going to have it there instead. So all I'm doing, guys, is I'm thinking in terms of placements. Not in terms of placements of the music, but where it is. That sounds bigger and heavier, doesn't it? So I'm going to swap those around. And these aren't going to be the big boys, basically. These are going to be kind of layered with the hits. So they don't necessarily need to be absolutely massive sounding. In fact, let's take out that first one. So you can start to hear that it doesn't need a huge amount. And in fact, these guys are doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of the rhythmic stuff. So this is the basic way to start a rhythm like this. The issue that we have here is it then starts to feel like a loop, because it is a loop. And this is when you have to then go, okay, I'm going to start to think in terms of a piece of music. And then we start to add interest by adding in different things. So here, let's, instead of it being a 16th thing, let's call it a triplet thing. So we go ba ba ba, about that. I was close. So everything here needs to suddenly get turned into triplet friendly things. So we could do that. I don't really like that. I don't think we even need all that busyness. And here as well. And what you can do here is you can then go on this one, the big hits are going to take the triplets. Okay, in fact, actually a simple way to do this rather than faffing about with requantizing, etc. There we go, that'll do. And we can take that and just make sure we humanize it a little bit by giving it different velocities. Doing dash two. Let's go. Okay, so you can hear by adding, in fact, this gets a little bit like phasey, doesn't it? By adding that change, all of a sudden the loop stops feeling so much like a loop. Now, where do we go from here? We've got something quite good sounding, so we're going to go into our music sample libraries. There we go, and we're going to go into one shots and trailer hits. Let's just grab a trailer hit from here. Bonus. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move everything this way a little bit. Now, the reason we're using this is to kind of give it that cinematic transition feel. There we go. Oh. There we go. That's the business. Okay, so we can, of course, start to add some more interest and variation at this very end. Just tiny things like that. They're not doing a lot. They're there just to help. I'll do that one. Okay, they're there just to help, and then you can go, okay, well then let's hear what it sounds like if we do this. Oh, cycling the silence. Okay, and we're starting to get this. All of a sudden, it's feeling a lot more like trailer stuff. We're starting to feel a lot more comfortable with these bigger sounding hits layered with ticking, etc., etc. And I mean, I'm quite happy with this at the moment as a little loop. We go, okay, well, how can we take it to the next level? And we go, okay, well, let's think about choppy synth sounds, etc. What can I do? I mean, I'm just doing this on the fly. I haven't planned this except for the fact I know kind of the brief I'm working to. So let's, for the sake of fun, load up a library in Kontakt. In fact, can we go for Kontakt Factory? This is probably going to sound awful if I do it like this. But I like a challenge. Let's go for that one. No, let's not go for that one. I mean, we could do it. Cheesy lead. Don't know why I thought that would be good. I mean, that's all right, isn't it? Let's do it in A. It's not the most imaginative sound, but I don't care because at this stage it's just giving me what I want. Something huge and ridiculous. So let's chuck on sausage, fattener, and just make it ridiculous. That's better, isn't it, really? Love that plugin. So fun. I mean, it's kind of taking up all of the room now. What I would like to do is give it some kind of tail. So I am going to give it a little plate. Hello, little plate. And we're going to do a little bit of wet for a long. That sounded awful. But you guys hopefully know what I meant. Low cut, because we don't want too much. Just gives it that little bit of room and tail, which is cool. Nice. I mean, it's still not exactly where I want it to be. I think that's kind of better, actually. Really flapping. Is it a monosynth? Yes. Can we change that? Voicing solo chord. Oh, that's the business. Let's do multiple octaves. And the way, I mean, I don't think that sounded that good, actually. Honestly, I kind of want to decimate this some more, just because I feel like it could do so much more. I think I liked it without the reverb, actually. Like it without the reverb. Okay, I mean, this is a really, really basic idea, basic sketch, but it really shows you how just by creating the rhythm stuff first, you've done so much of the work. It needs a bit more, I think. I kind of want to... oh, why not? Let's just get into it, shall we? Let's take that. There we go. Let's turn the C off. Just, again, the drums don't need to be playing all the time. It's kind of like they're just filling in. There we go. That's all to get this triplet thing going on. Cool. Let's quantize you. Yeah, that was alright actually. Not. And they just add a little extra oomph just by adding the drums. Oh, I like this a lot. Okay. Cool. It's a basic rhythm, but the idea is that I focus on the details of what I was doing. I didn't focus on everything else. I just thought, okay, guys, what can I do with this basic rhythm of focusing on sticks and clicks and ticks and fills, interesting fills. The interesting fills make this track, really. And then you can go, okay, well, we can take those interesting fills and we can use them to better the track even more. And what I mean by that is, look, you can just go like this. You go, okay, well, this is now going to be an extended fill between two larger sections. Oops. Oh. Come on. No, I want that one. There we go. There we go. So let's have a listen. So in fact, actually, remember, these don't even need to be here, these big hits in the start. This track can just start. I take the Armageddon. Okay, that bass is pretty weak actually, but yeah. Okay, so for instance here, we don't have to have them all repeating like that. Can you go? Oh, hold on. We'll leave those in the third. And was it that? And get rid of that. I'm just simplifying it so it becomes this. An interesting cut point. All of a sudden, this is what you do with loops. You set them up and then you mess with them so that you say to the listener, hey, I'm a clever little guy. I know a little bit more about music than I think I thought I did. Wait, I've lost. Hey, stop assuming you know what I'm going to do. That's what you're saying. You're saying, hey, I want to keep you interested by throwing in some variations. And all of a sudden, this track has grown from this simple idea to something with a lot more power and weight to it. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. I think it sounds wicked. And we can then start to go, okay, well, how about this little chappy? There it is. Let's bring in a mono riser. Hopefully. Straight out of the box, that'll do. It's probably how. There we go. There we go. Let's Move that there, turn it down. And then we're starting to introduce cinematic transitions so that we can add even more interest to what's going on. I mean, I think that sounds pretty cool, to be honest with you. Can I load up something for myself? Have I got it here? Please say I've put it in here. Oh, I haven't. Got this cool sample thing I did of me strumming, which sounds really great. Let's use the elastic band guitar instead. That one. It was like an elastic band yogurt pop thing. Classic primary school thing, but it sounds pretty good. Cool. I mean, this is kind of shaping up into something a lot more interesting just by thinking in terms of variations of rhythm, of progression, etc. like that. And it's so much of what we do, especially with this type of stuff, is thinking in terms of variations so that the listener doesn't get bored and so that it stays interesting. I mean, it'd be tempting to take out this little bit here, the first iteration. I kind of want to take that out too, and this out, so we get this nice silence. There we go, 30 seconds. I mean, we're kind of into Act 2 a little bit. I mean, I probably would ramp up more into Act 2 and then really go for it in Act 2 in preparation for Act 3. But these tracks don't need to be hugely long. You can give this 60 seconds, 90 seconds, because, again, if you aim for a TV spot, it can be short, sharp, and choppy, just really in your face. But these are really, really fun to do. And if you start with very basic things, very basic rhythms, a ticking clock, and then think, how can I make a little interesting feel? How can I change it the next time we hear it? How can I keep the listener on their toes? That's what really wins out with these tracks. On top of having some really, really nasty sounding synths and brass, etc. I mean, the problem is with this tutorial is I'm excited by this track, so I want to keep writing it. And I keep kind of trying to end the tutorial, and then I go, well, wait a second, well, how do I put some Brahms in there? And then it's happening again. I'm getting too excited. So, your takeaway from this video is, can you take the simple idea of a ticking clock and of variations and of hitting cut points to create the basic form for an action percussion or action sound design cue? I think you'll find you'll surprise yourself. You don't need massive sample libraries for this. I mean, I could have probably used the free Ferrum. In fact, I'm pretty sure most of these are available on the free Ferrum. Drag and drop one shots. I've got those in my free Trailer Music Toolkit that you can download. That bass, what bass was that? It's Kontakt. That came with Kontakt. I mean, I'd probably get a better sound from some of the other basses within Logic. Okay, the riser, you do have to pay for that, but and this electric guitar thing is, I think that's one of the freebies for my supporters on my website, richardpryn.com. But you don't need that. You know, you've got all the tools there. It's then just thinking about how you can use those tools to create something interesting and powerful to grab the attentioner of your listen.